I used to listen to good podcasts, but everything was fine. But now I listen to this podcast because I've lost my mind. My gym partner is a podcast. My gym partner is a podcast. Yeah!
Bullshark, porcupine, I don't know what. Doing this podcast's a pain in the...
Wow, I've heard of Disney remakes, but this is ridiculous.
Oh, was that
Am I right?
Was that your joke?
Was that it?
No, it's relevant to like one of the episodes.
No, it was definitely relevant to the first episode because you see it's a reference, which we get a lot of. Hey, the first episode of these two. Hey, everybody! Welcome to the podcast. The first episode. Wow, my favorite one yet, actually.
Really? Are you kidding
What?
me?
I have reasons for
Okay,
it being
well,
my favorite episode, but y'all talk. Y'all say
Well,
stuff.
we're getting way ahead of ourselves, everybody. We're part of a community of like-minded individuals. The My Gym Partner's a podcast.
For once, y'all, we're actually excited to talk about them.
What do you mean for once?
I'm always excited to talk about this, but I will say
Yeah,
that
always.
these episodes, in particular, very meaty episodes. I feel like a ton of shit
They're
just
dense.
happens in
They're like
both
a
of them.
fucking steak. It's like,
I feel like
a 6
I feel
ounce
like
sirloin. My gym partner's a monkey.
I feel like they both got a lot of budget to them, like compared to
Yeah,
the
I
other
was gonna mention that. So let's, since we're so excited to just hop on in, we don't even have anything to bullshit around about.
Yeah,
The first
fucking-
episode's called the Spiffanos, which, some of you might be too young to remember what the Sopranos was.
I've heard of it, but I've never watched The Sopranos. Is it a movie or is it a series?
No, it's a TV show.
series.
Yeah, and it famously ended, like, with a black screen. If you remember all the things about that.
It had a really controversial ending. It's like commonly said as the beginning of the golden age of television, quote unquote.
You know, it's like history repeats itself with that, and also the Game of Thrones ending. I guess like good TV can't end good.
I guess so. Like, I mean, Breaking Bad. I don't know. That one ended.
I mean, that's
pretty
Netflix,
good.
so.
Oh, but no, it's not. It's AMC.
Oh, I thought it was. I thought it was a Netflix show, like completely.
Yeah, I mean, for once, AMC did something good. Walking Dead, never going to end, but oh fuck.
So
And
anyway,
my gym partner is a monkey. That last episode, hoo-wee, that's gonna be a doozy to talk about. But
God.
Ooh.
So let's
Nobody
not
look
get,
that up. I want it to be a surprise for everybody.
Let's start. So it's Crazy Unibrow Day. Did y'all bring your crazy unibrow?
Oh yeah, I brought mine. I also brought my clown nose.
no, I'm sorry, Gert, but we're gonna have to confiscate that. It is only
Yeah.
Crazy Unibrow Day.
Oh well. Ah,
Except
shucks.
it's not. Apparently.
Except it's not. What? And so it's like that was the thing on the like
The marquee.
the marquee outside. Thank you. The marquee outside the school, and then like Principal Pixie Frog also like announces it. And like Adam and Jake are in class, and you see Jake with this ridiculous unibrow, and he's like wiggling it around and making it do like crazy tricks.
He does a W.
Yeah, and Adam's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "It's Crazy Unibrow Day," and Adam just straight up says, "No, it's not."
You're wrong. It's not. Right off the bat during this episode, I get a different feeling. More so than I have any other episode that we've watched, just because it has this strange, like, atmosphere to it. Like, there's not... I can't remember. Was there like, some song playing during this?
There was a lot of music. There was a ton of music playing in this episode.
They bought the whole, like,
They bought the whole...
APM, like, production music. They bought the whole house.
Like... But I don't know, there's something about, like, the way that everybody was talking, like, specifically the way in this, like, little bit of the scene coming up where, Mr. Hornbill starts talking about,
Yeah. I wrote it every time it happened, and it happens very often. Usually the characters in the show are very, like, 3/4, facing each other. In this episode, some of them are just straight up looking at the camera, like front facing.
I felt like I was like being attacked when Mr. Hornbill was looking directly at. Like we were never supposed to see him from that angle, and it feels aggressive.
It's definitely a lot more dynamic. Like these 2 episodes, I would say. There is more of an energy with like the jokes. They're a lot snappier here. They brought an energy to these 2 episodes. I feel.
Yeah, these are good question. In a way, I'll get into more how I feel about them at the end. But like, it's Nature Preservation Day or something like that.
Yeah,
and, like,
that makes sense for an animal school.
It's the day of the nature conservation exam specifically, which like I don't know why do animals gotta worry about that? That's humans' fault. They should be playing reparations.
At least Adam's excited about it. Being the only human there, he's the only one who remembered. I guess it wasn't that important that, like, the animals, considering Principal Pixie Frog forgot, and, like...
Well, he drives a car, though, so he's responsible for, like, exhaust fuels and stuff like that.
I wonder where he parks his car in the swamp.
Oh, God, I forgot about that. He probably parks it, like, on the outside of the swamp.
Oh yeah,
he parks it underwater.
This is like just throwing this in the middle of like what we're talking about here, but I had a concept for something that I thought of while I was watching this episode. And I was thinking, what if just this entire time they've been drawing Jake's like arms longer and longer? And I can't
like
remember
slightly.
if that's a joke I've made before or not, but like my brain fixated on it in this one because I saw Jake's arms just kind of like hanging out and just being all long, and I thought, what if it's just been subtly getting bigger?
You know, I wouldn't put it past them at all. You know, who knows? We need some like tape measures and some just like screen caps of earlier episodes versus now. It's like those pictures of Peridot, like back in the day where people used to take pictures of her, like this is what she looked like in this episode, and now she's smaller, she's shrinking.
My favorite ones when they show like Peridot with like the fucking like, you know, the first time you see her where she looks fucking scary and cool and she's like looking down and she has this really dramatic lighting, and then they show you like her with her big head and she's like, oh, I'm gonna hang out with Pumpkin. Lapis left me for the moon.
So it's this. There's a weird energy here because I feel like for once in this episode, like Adam and Jake are kind of working together, or like Adam seems less annoyed by Jake, at least. Like he's annoyed, but he's like, whatever, like this is just happening and I'm used to it.
He manages to shift to like a chipper tune. Like,
yeah.
I'm always down for that, like, that atmosphere in an episode because it makes it so much easier to digest, like, everything. I hate the tense feeling of characters, like, being around each other that they don't, like, when they don't like each other. It's really just... It gets me. It's like secondhand embarrassment.
Yeah, and so if Bolsharkowski is cleaning the window of the classroom with one of like the octopus Spiffy, and if you remember, the Spiffies are the like nerd group. Like there's like the Phineas is the dolphin is like the leader. There's like an annoying little pig. There's an elephant. There's like a squid octopus. I don't know. It's an octopus, right?
There's like
it's a squid.
Okay, it's a squid, and then there's like a bird.
The bird is one that I overlook all the time.
It's very tiny and like doesn't say anything, so...
It's just like one member to pad out like the group, basically. But, so like, Mr. Hornbill is gonna go after Bull for this, but then he's like, oh, well, Mr. Hornbill, actually, I'm conserving on paper towels. I was just worried about, you know, because they're not very biodegradable, and, well, I mean... That's not the thing that you worry about. Hey, nature conservation facts corner with Renee.
How does it? What does the theme song for that sound like?
Just use the animal facts corner.
No, the do do da ba do ba do da. Nature preservation. Nature preservation. We're here in the corner with Renee with nature preservation.
Gonna go to Yellowstone. What's
Alright.
another park? Come on. What's another park?
Smoky
Gonna go to
Mountains. Is that a
Yellowstone.
park? That's a mountain. Never mind.
We're gonna go to South Park.
That works all the time.
So, it's not the fact that paper towels aren't biodegradable that's to worry about them. It's that they're being made by chopping down an excess amount of trees.
Yeah,
That's the issue.
I mean, they're made out of paper. Like,
they're pretty biodegradable compared to like plastics and stuff.
I'm
so
reading-
I'm sorry, Bull, but you fail. You fail this. Like, Mr. Hornbill just wanted an excuse to like not have to deal with Bull because he just like lets him go and it's like, wow, with a explanation like that, Bull, you passed the test, and here I'm giving you the keys to the
God.
staff.
It's like
staff
office,
room.
right?
have
He said-
No, it's
the
to,
faculty
like, the
lounge,
The
right?
Oh, yeah,
faculty lounge, yeah. And he also gets access to my private DVDs.
He's,
DVDs?
he specifically says something like my private collection of DVDs. It's like, what?
Did y'all
Like,
notice?
hello?
Did y'all notice during like this whole like delivery of dialogue that he was giving us that it had this very strange rhythm to it? It was just like, "Oh, I get it, Bull. You are now exempt from the test because you did a good job. Here, have the key to the lounge." Like, you know what I mean? Like it felt like it felt strange. Something felt very like, I don't know, self-aware. This whole episode
I get
is
what
that.
you mean.
The thing that was
it's
weird
hard
about it
to
for
explain.
me was that like it was an excess amount of focus on characters that weren't Adam, Jake, or his or the pack, you know. And then like this is a setup for something that happens later that has nothing to do with anything in the plot like of this episode at all. Like it's literally just a setup for Mr. Hornbill and Bull to talk about movies later, while like everything else that's wild and crazy happens in this episode.
Well, hold on. It also serves to like include like Bull in the plot line because not spoil this episode. But,
well,
like,
no, I disagree because like it's okay if you want to include Bull in the plot line, that's fine. Have him show up at the beginning and I don't know, bully Adam or something, or you know, be mean to a Spiffy, and then show him like later or like throughout the episode. But what was the point of having him go into you passed the test, go to my office, watch my DVDs? The DVD watching had nothing to do with anything else.
I gotta say, more so, what the fuck was the point of like nature preservation like being introduced in the beginning of the episode? Because I'm just gonna like say right off the bat, the grand plot of this entire fucking episode is not that.
Well, I can excuse that because that's just like a means to an end. You know,
no, it's
like,
a means to the stupid bull shark joke. Like literally, they like introduce so many stupid things like nature. Well, that's nature conservation is not stupid, but the way
you said it. You heard it here first.
The way they used it.
Yeah,
is
nature
stupid
conservation is stupid.
Like they used it to have Bull be smart for a second, which is very. I feel like it's fine. It's not completely out of character. I think we've seen Bull be smart before, but you know, he says the thing and then like, okay, so what's the result of that situation? Oh, he gets to watch DVDs. Okay, what's the result of that? He talks to Mr. Hornbill about DVDs. What the
What's the juice like?
Well, so that's that. All right.
Yeah, let's explain the rest of the episode. Then you'll see that I'm right.
We'll see, but so Mr. Hornbill, after that weird interaction with Bull, all right, I
Very
hope
weird.
all the rest of you have your number 2 pencils, and
Yeah, what the fuck?
everyone pulls them out excitedly, except Adam. Oh, he forgot his number 2 pencil.
Oh,
which,
dumpy
So-
dumbass.
So forgetful. So forgetful.
God.
God. You remembered it was the exam today, and you forgot the pencil, but Jake remembered to have a pencil?
Even though he didn't
I didn't
know?
even think that animals at this fucking school used pencils. I thought they, like, just ate
Shit
them.
on the paper.
Yeah, I thought they ate the paper. I didn't think that, like, anything mattered. I didn't think anything mattered here.
There's a bit of... There's a joke here where, like, Adam's like, oh, do you have another pencil I could borrow? Jake's like, no, I just have this really nice picture of a pencil.
Works as a nice kiss for your foyer.
Yeah, and then we get Phineas, who still is calling Adam Adam. Still.
Despite everything they've gone through. The
God.
nerd apocalypse, everything.
So
There's
much.
like some music playing in the background of this interaction in specifically that sounds like horror music. I don't know how to explain it.
Is
And
it
maybe
the
we'll play
Was it not the
little.
spiffy music? Was it
It
not
might- That might have been it. That might have been it.
It might have been a variation.
Still sounds like horror music.
Yeah,
Either way.
it sounds like just strange noises in the distance.
And so he's like making a joke with Adam, and he's like, look, you can borrow one from my pencil case. And then like it's like a really well rendered picture of like him holding out the pencil case, and then it zooms out and it's just a picture of him holding out a pencil case. And he's like, ha ha ha.
I was just doing a callback to the joke.
I
that,
couldn't
like,
resist.
Happened like two seconds ago.
That's not a callback, Phineas. That's just whatever the equivalent of like alliteration is in comedy is what that is.
Repetition.
Beating it into my brain is what it is. Which seems to be this like show's number one way to get a joke across. Let's just say it a lot. That's
the patented early 2000s kid cartoon way of comedy.
That might just be like, I think Teen Titans Go may have taken a page from Jim Partner Monkey book.
Oh, waffles, waffles, waffles?
Waffles, waffles, waffles? Waffles, Legulus?
I'm looking at you, Renee. Waffles?
Waffles?
Don't do this.
Hey,
to me.
hey,
Waffles, hey, Renee. Waffles?
Renee, I'm a cat with like a really sad face, and there's like impact font above me, and it says waffles? Question mark.
I am going to put my fist through my laptop if we don't continue with this stupid
You have to roll
show.
a d20 to do that.
I'm gonna scream!
Oh, nice reference. Renee, I like that reference that you just made to when you get mad on the podcast. Good reference.
So Phineas then, I forget what he says, but then he says, I was just making like a reference to a movie or something like that.
Yeah, to Pretty Women.
Yeah, which is, it went by so quick that like, I guess it was one of those jokes for the parents, because no fucking kid knows what Pretty Woman is. I'm sorry, nobody fucking knows what Pretty Woman is.
I guess that's like
for our generation, you know. You know what I'm saying, boomers?
No,
you know what I'm
boomers.
you know. Yeah, Renee's actually like 58 years old, and they like really just understand those good jokes for the adults. You know, mom's doing dishes in the kitchen connected to the room. You look in, you hear that, and you go, ah! And like your kid is just kind of quiet, but like still fixated on the TV.
You know what? And then they go on Facebook and they're like, "You should let your kids watch My Gym Partner's a Monkey."
Don't watch Edda and Eddie. That show's stupid. It doesn't have anything.
Doesn't have any jokes for the parents.
It doesn't have any references to Pretty Women. But
God,
okay, we're overlooking the fact that Adam borrows a pencil from Phineas, and he has sealed his fate. He has done the forbidding act because Phineas is like, Adam is like, "Oh, thanks, buddy, I owe you one." And he's like, "Perfect."
And it's a close up of it's like another front facing shot of him. I hated it so much.
I mean, it's very appropriate. This is what happens when you like accept a favor from a nerd. Here's
Yeah.
a PSA: don't do that.
Don't accept favors from nerds.
Don't let them don't give them an inch, because they'll just seep into your lives and ruin them. Oh God, they'll take away the best years of your life. I'm a boomer.
This next part is pretty funny though, because it cuts to the hallway and it's the Pack and Jake, and they're standing there and they're like laughing, and then Jake's like, "Oh, here he comes, and then Adam walks up, and like I thought they were gonna like pull a prank on him or do a joke on him, but that doesn't like get brought back up, so they were just straight up shit talking.
That's like the funniest. That's like a really funny joke, just because it like they don't like hammer it in like they normally do. It's just, oh, these guys talk shit about him when he's not there. Like, it's and like they're all laughing, everybody.
Then like Windsor, I forget what he mentions that he borrowed from the Spiffies. Everyone gets all weird about it. Like everyone's like, "Oh, I can't believe you did that." There's like they talk about some fish who now is swimming with the fishes, but he is a fish. Oh, but he was a freshwater fish. And then we get like a cutaway to said fish, and he's like looking at the camera and he's like, "Hey, you get used to it." And then he walks away. He walks. He's a walking fish.
He's a flounder.
Yeah.
It's a little funny gag because he turns sideways and he's flat. It's funny. You gotta have one of those flounder jokes in there in an animal show.
Windsor says that the Spiffies, quote, air quotes, run things around here, and then Adam's like, I thought the Bolsharkowski ran things, and then Windsor chastises him, is like, "You didn't use air quotes," and then he's like, "Oh, sorry," and then he goes, "I thought Bolsharkowski ran things," in quotes, around here, and then Slips is like, "Wow, he did that."
And they're just like, what a nork.
Yeah, he's like, "What a nork." He's like, "What?" Windsor's like, "What's a nork?"
What does that mean, Slips? You're gonna have to explain it to me.
And then they just like walk away from him. Like, it's like, tell me more about your interesting vernacular, Slips.
Yeah, it's a really fun moment. I love Slips. Hey, you know what? I love Slips. He's the best character in the show.
Yeah, like
Wait,
I really
feel like
like
we haven't.
Slips.
We don't say that enough.
We don't. I just want to make it clear. He's our favorite.
He's the best character. Whenever he gets his shining moment, I wait for that day. I'm ready for it. I want Slips on screen longer. Favorite character.
So, Ingrid looks directly at the camera and says, like, just, what did she say? Like, be careful that they don't ask for favors in return.
That's another one of those nostalgic things that stuck with me for years for no reason.
Is it because she looked into your eyes?
She
and,
looked
like,
in-
the lips
like
moved?
beautifully animatedly just lip syncs favors in return.
Like, very, very fluid.
It became ingrained because the movements were there. I saw everything.
I saw so much. So I forgot to mention it, but Jake is just like, every single time Adam offhandedly mentions he borrowed from a Spiffy, Jake acts like it's the first time he heard this, and he goes, "You borrowed from a Spiffy?" And it's a dumb joke. I hate it, but
I feel like that happens like
It
know,
happens
5 times.
Not often enough, but it happens enough where like every time it happens, it's like, oh, this is the part where Jake has to like forget things and be stupid for some reason.
I like this callback here where like Adam is like, "Well, how could the Spiffies be dangerous enemy? Remember the science fair episode?" I hate how they keep saying episode like to refer to past events.
Mr. Blowhole's blowhole will never blow again.
And they're like, "And remember the spelling bee?" But you know, it did when they said spelling bee, I got hit with like a wave of nostalgia, not for like the show, but for when we were, because I think that was our second episode of the podcast.
It may have been the first. I think that was the first
was
episode, wasn't it?
Wasn't first inoculation?
it was inoculation day and then spelling bee.
That's right. So yeah, it was the first. Oh my god, yeah, it was the first episode.
29 episodes in. You got that nostalgia fix there?
Yeah. So yeah, the fucking spelling bee episode, and then the pig Spiffy shows up and he's riding around a little like what are they called, tricycles?
Definitely a Shining reference.
They're just like dingering all their references in there. Just gotta mix them all in.
That mom in the kitchen that you created is laughing at the Shining reference.
Yeah, she's just like, oh, that's Little Pig! It's a Little Pig reference!
I hate how like much you're making me think of my own mom and like making me think that she would be laughing like that at these like little jokes.
Am I doing a good job?
You are.
Yay! I'm your mom.
So they go because the pig says that the what is it, the Finn father
The
wants to see you.
Father.
The Finn father wants to see you.
They lead him down into some like I guess this is that same area that the like janitor was in.
It's
like
a
the old
dungeon.
Yeah, and it's like under the school and it's like musty and gray.
room.
Yeah, and like Adam, as they're walking there, there's this like dynamic shot of them like walking from the front, and like he's like, don't shake his hand, kiss his fin, you know, don't ask. Hopefully he doesn't ask for any favors. And then they get there and it's Phineas in like a chair and he's wearing like a suit and he's like, approach me. Like,
Do you get it? Do you understand what reference this is? It's the Godfather!
He's
It's the
also
Godfather.
talking like a Godfather would, like you would expect. He's like, he has still Phineas accent, but a little bit of the Finn
Approach
father
me.
would like to see you. Like,
yeah, it's very, it's funny. I gotta admit, I think it's kind of funny.
It's especially funny here because it's like Phineas. It
Yeah,
doesn't
like, of
look
all the-
anything like a Godfather.
it's
Look at
like
all the guys you could have got.
like they got a character that you would least expect to be like this sort of like dark figure to be this like Godfather character. So like that's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And this like little sequence is really funny as well because Adam just is like, oh, here's your number 2 pencil back, Phineas, and he's like, oh, hey, thanks. And he's like, well, I guess I'll see you later. Okay, bye. And
Bye.
then they leave, and that's that.
Then it's the end of the episode. No.
No,
No.
of course
God.
not.
So
It'd be too easy.
the pig comes back. I know we're all dying to talk about Jake in a bit, so let me speed through this. Because the pig comes back, he's like, actually, he wants a favor. You need to deliver this lunch box to a specific locker.
To locker, this is like that number being referenced. It's like that's a very familiar number. Number 8675309.
867-309.
And I feel like is that the locker number that was referenced in like the other like boiler room episode, where
No,
like the
it's-
haunted locker?
It's 3675309.
Yeah, you know the
No,
song.
no, I
It's a song.
just
Yeah.
oh. Well, I guess I've been outed. I'm sorry, everybody.
Well, no,
I
go
wasn't
ahead,
a
say what you
boomer.
were gonna say. Maybe.
But I mean, like, was it the number also the number of the locker from the horror episode with Principal Pixie Frog?
I don't remember enough.
It may
I'll be
have
honest.
been.
Probably not.
Probably not, because we see the locker and it's not that.
It was like that was like locker 420 or something. can't remember.
Please. You were that was the episode we had Shirley on, so you weren't even there, Gert.
Oh, don't worry, I watched it. I always watch my monkey show.
So they have to you know, put it in the locker, so they show up to it, and like it's a shot of Adam and he's like, all right, let's put it in. And then Jake says like, wait a second, like baby or something like that, I don't know. And we cut to Jake. I don't know how to describe him.
Allow me. He is full on New Yorker Italian stereotype. Not like, Italian stereotype from the old country, but like just like he's got the tracksuit, he's got the greased hair with like the whitening hair on the sideburns, he's got the hairy chest like peeking out from the Adidas track.
There's like something wrong with his chest. It might be the outline of his pecs, or like
they look like water balloons or something. It's but like hairy. It's really weird. I don't like it. It doesn't denote a good texture.
It does not. It has bad eye feel.
He's like wearing a gold chain,
As we see here, this show really loves its Italian stereotypes.
Yeah, we'll see a little bit more of that later.
So he's like swinging his tail around. He's being like, I've been working this job for a while. You gotta keep it on the down low,
Remember the code. We gotta respect the Finn father. Don't you know?
We gotta deliver the package for the Finn father. This is really important. Proceeds to the next scene.
Where he tells everyone.
Not keeping his secret, not keeping the Finn father's code in mind. He is telling everybody, he's like, so is the Finn father, that's what I calls him.
He entrusts me, because, he's my friend. To get this lunchbox to locker 8675309.
God, it's such a dated and obvious reference. Because there was a time, I feel like, where everybody was referencing that number. Like, all the time.
Yeah. Definitely just it's like I guess a fun little, like, if you know what it is, and it's nice, and if you don't, it's like, whatever. I mean, it's just some numbers.
Yeah, it's an easy one.
But it is very of the era. So I don't understand how we got here, because literally Jake and Adam are standing in front of the locker, like, about to do it, and then it's like Jake's gone, and then Adam's like, looks in the cafeteria, Jake's telling everybody all that shit, and then the crowd disperses, and he's like, okay, Jake, where's the lunchbox? And he's like, well, it was right here like a second ago.
And Adam's like, where is it? And he does like this thing, is like, I don't know.
I don't know.
It was really funny.
I took the mute off, because that's how we watch these things for that, because I had to let people know. That was a funny one right there.
So they're looking for the lunchbox around the cafeteria, and they see Bull and Mr. Hornbill, and this is what I'm talking about. It's taken us this long to reintroduce Bull back into the plot, and he's standing there in the lunchroom, holding the lunchbox, talking to Mr. Hornbill about the DVDs. Like, Mr. Hornbill's like, what did you think of my DVDs?
What did you think?
He's like, they were alright, but, I thought, like, it was a little too much gratuitous violence,
What? I think they're necessary for the action scenes.
And so, like, I was thinking the worst things at first, but, like, when they're talking about it more, it's obvious that they're talking about action movies. They're probably talking about, like, Pulp Fiction or something.
Yeah, hey, you ever seen that movie, Pulp Fiction? That movie's so fucking cool. I love that movie. It's so badass. It's got what's his name in it? Samuel Jackson and
Gert, why are you role playing as your cousin? It sounds like.
God damn, I love that movie.
So Jake's gonna try and grab it. So he like does like as they're having it, keeps cutting back and forth between like Jake doing like a I don't know, like a martial arts style approach, like jump kicking down onto them, like doing all these poses. And then it cuts back to them like having a film critique sesh, and then it cuts back to him doing it like still coming after him, and then he just like beefs it completely.
Yeah, he just falls on his face. It makes a funny sound.
And Bull's like, that. You see, that's what I'm talking about. Gratuitous. I think of the children.
Then an odd shot here, which it's not that big of a deal. I mean, whatever. But we're here to nitpick, right? So, like, Jake is slowly reaching up to grab the lunchbox, like, from Bull's waist, essentially. And then we get a shot of Bull just, like, kind of standing there, like, I guess talking. I forget exactly. But then, like, he gets angry really suddenly, and then, like, Jake has the lunchbox, like, and is, like, running away or something. Like, we don't see him grab it. We just see, like, it's weird. It's a weird shot.
He glances down, like, for a second, and then he just gets all angry, and it's like, oh, you stole my lunch.
I love this little scene that just to, show Jake running, because it shows him running towards the camera with a wild expression on his face, going, oh, ow, ow! like fucking monkey noises, right? Like, we've heard him do, like, but, like, I don't think we've ever heard him, like, scream like this before.
Well, no, he's definitely screamed like this before,
okay,
but it's really funny how accentuated it is with, like, him, like, running towards the camera with, like, might I compliment a very, like, nicely detailed, like, Jake Spider Monkey running like this. That's like a good, like, cartoon shot. That's what you put in your, like, bumpers
in your portfolio.
Mr. Krabs noticing the dolls. That's the craftsmanship that SpongeBob had. What am I trying to say?
I don't know what you're trying to say. Like, when they were painting his house?
Yeah, I'm thinking, like, when they were painting his house, where Mr. Krabs goes, now that's craftsmanship. Like, that's what we're saying to this episode.
So he like, he runs past Adam, and Adam's like, you got it? And he goes, no, you got it. He hands it to Adam. And Adam's like, he runs away. They run across the water.
Yeah, all of a sudden we're in this chase sequence where they're, like, running in a river, and Bull's, like, got the advantage because he's water polo varsity champion for 2 years running, and then Jake pops in and is like, hanging upside down from my tail 3 years running.
Oh, owned.
Grabs Adam, takes him out, and, like, Bull falls out a hole out of the school, which I don't even want to touch that situation.
It's, like, in the front also. We don't need to, like, talk about it. It's cartoons, I guess.
It's funny.
Adam says, you saved my life twice in this episode. I'm impressed.
Yeah, like, see, it's very self-aware as... God, we've been talking a lot about this one.
We're going a little long. So, they find out that the lunchbox was supposed to go to Bull anyway. They open up the lunchbox and it's just, like, disgusting. And then Bull's like, oh, those Spiffies. Now do me a favor since y'all, screwed up my lunch. And then we get, like, the pig and he's going back to the Finn father. And they open up the lunchbox and Jake and Adam are stuffed in there. And Adam's like, Bull wants you to hold the mayo, and then all the Spiffies scream, and that's the end of that episode.
You see, the gag is they drop the mayo, and that's the last gag. They didn't hold the mayo. Did you get it? I hope you got it.
I didn't get that one.
That one was too complicated for me.
Unlike Pulp Fiction, which is
so,
my
like, a lot of
favorite
people,
fucking movie.
A lot of people, they, like, say, Pulp Fiction, it's got a lot of, like, facets, It's, like, really dense and it's all out of order. But really, it's not too bad if you, like, really watch it and really think about it. It's, like, pretty easy to follow. I love that fucking movie. Quentin Tarantino, he's got a lot of cool shit coming out. God.
All right, we
need to talk about Mer-Monkey now.
The Little Mer-Monkey. This was what I was referencing in the first joke.
Yeah, I don't know. Listen, Renee, we're gonna need to have in your quarterly reviews coming up. We're gonna need to talk about that one.
Yeah. I gotta say, the first episode was my favorite episode because of the odd feelings that it like portrayed, but this one is like genuinely good in like a good kind of way. Like
this
it's not
This one's funny. I gotta say, this one's funny.
like this one has a good like it feels like the show. It doesn't feel like too out of character or anything. It's just a good episode where Finn and Jake
Oh my god.
Adam's reading a book called Marine Biology. Jake
Yeah.
is reading a book called Fairy Tales.
really sums them up, doesn't it?
But Adam's like, they found proof of giant squids. And Jake's like, they found proof of mermaids. And he's like, no,
You're reading them.
fairy tale book. Fucking idiot.
God, you.
It's fantasy. It's not real. Oh god.
Stop
Yeah.
living in your little fantasy world, Jake.
And-
With mermaids.
But Jake takes it well, and he's like, "Oh, since it's fantasy, can it be a mer-monkey?"
Yeah, sure. And whatever you want it to be, I guess, goes Adam Lion.
I
And
really like Adam in this episode.
I do too. That's something we can't say that often.
Because he strikes a balance here of like he's not insufferable in this episode. He's very like relatable in that he's just taking it as it comes. He's being like not too sardonic. He's not being too like cynical. He's taking it as it comes. Like in some parts, he's like actually pretty optimistic and like
He's
a
into
chipper.
it. So,
Yeah.
so I want to run by this next bit real quick because it's labored a bit. So
Remember Italian references?
yes. So
Yeah.
so Jake,
About that
like-
first episode, those aren't over yet.
So Jake looks down and he pulls out like a telescope that's got like a little windy, and he like puts it in the water. He looks down, and then like a crab face comes into it, and he's like screams about it and freaks out, and he's like ah, because he was trying to look for a mer-monkey, and he like runs away, and then we go down into the the water of Charles Darwin, and for a second I thought this was going to be like a quick little joke. Because it focuses on this crab, the crab that looked in the telescope, and he like taps on the telescope, and he's at a salad bar, and he's like, I want to order, but oh no, like, and then
Hey, I want the order.
yeah,
He
Hey,
talks
where's
like
my
that.
linguine?
and a fish Miss Tusk, which is just imagine it, and that's it.
Yeah, hey, it's just Mrs. Tusk, but with a fish body, and I don't know what to, like.
We're
There's-
just gonna have to contend with that there's like fish versions of the staff probably.
Or at least Mrs. Tusk.
And so she gives him some slop, he eats it up. And at this point I realized this wasn't just like a quick little like, here's the funny crab that Jake was looking at, let's go back to the boys. No, Herman, his name, becomes a main character because he eats too much, he outgrows his shell, wants to go find a new shell. He looks around some places. We get to see a little bit of the underwater sections. There's these cute little clams. I thought they were cute.
Oh, they were
Yeah,
really
clam's
cute.
Yeah, and then-
Herman picks one up to try and get the shell, and he's just like, too small.
And then he goes to a boot. It's too smell. And then he somehow he ends up in Adam's locker. He like shoves himself in, and it's like this. And they say this word a lot. Very dank, very very dark.
You see, he likes Adam's stinky little space that he's
Yeah.
prepared for him. He likes the stench, the stink, the smell, the grime. He loves it.
Oh, he's living for it. So Jake and Adam notice him, and is like, I forget who calls him an aqua squatter. I think it's Jake.
That's Jake.
Yeah.
Jake just like keeps calling him the aqua squatter, which doesn't sound like a kind name for these like little critters.
It sounds almost like a containment like word, like an aqua squatter's escaped. It's like a SCP or something. Like,
Yeah, and so, Jake is like, I'll take care of it for you. You're too emotional right now, Adam. And he grabs the
and Adam's just like, hey, there's a guy in my locker. I want to
Yeah,
get him out.
I better talk to him.
It wasn't previously. I remember, I think Jake being like, God damn aqua squatters or
Oh,
something.
I hate that crab so much. It's that filthy crab who tried to pose as my mer-monkey. Oh, I'm gonna kill. But
You're
let me handle
emotional,
this,
Adam.
He grabs the Herman and he keeps throwing him in the water, and then he's like, "Thanks, Jake," and then he looks back
Oh
and
no, I'm a sinking.
yeah,
Oh no, I'm a sinking. Charles Martinet played this crab.
And so Windsor shows up after like a few goes at this and the same thing. He's like, is there an issue? I heard something, and then he's like,
I
an
heard
aqua
some
squa-"
screaming.
Did you try drowning him?
yeah.
There's this little bit that I want to mention that's really funny. Like, Windsor's like, oh, hey, it seems that this hermit crab's in your locker. Hey, little cutie wootie, what are you doing? And then, like, he just pinches, like, Windsor's nose, like, bitch, Bubba the Scooties. Something like that.
I'm a pinch it.
And then Windsor's just like, try drowning him.
Hey, y'all, you know how, like, Mario is, like, kind of an outlier in the, like, video game mascot sort of thing because he's, like, a human, like a little man? What if he was a crab instead? And what if, like, Mario the Crab was what everybody was like the beloved character that everybody craved and, like, knew about? Can you imagine how different the world would be if Mario was a crab, is what I'm trying to say?
I'd be into it.
I'm imagining Luigi Crab, so I'm like very into it.
Luigi Crab, Mario and Luigi Crab, they go, I'm gonna scuttle, and, like, the mechanics are all crab centric. Still eat mushrooms though, so it's like it's Mario.
It's still weird.
It's weird. It's really weird.
So, they're like, okay, let's take it to the dank, the only other dankest part of the school, the chasm of the abyss. And,
Inside your locker, of course.
Yes, and Jake and Adam are in little scuba suits, and they're like down in the water, and Adam's holding the crab, and Jake hears a beautiful voice.
Who could it be other than
a mer-monkey? He sees a silhouette. He hears he's singing, and he's like, baby, come here, come to me. I can be gentle, baby.
So, like, I had some theories for what this mer-monkey represented to Jake.
Uh-huh.
I did too, but, like, list yours first. I think we have similar theories.
So I'm thinking that mer-monkey, not the woman that Jake wants to be with. It's the woman that Jake wants to become.
Yes.
Jake...
I thought so too, because, like, when, like Jake is first describing it, it sounds like, you know, oh, so I can make it whatever I want. Can it be a mer-monkey? Oh, and she's, like, pretty with, like, big eyelashes and whatnot. It sounds like they're just describing a self-insert to this, like, story now.
Yeah, so this whole episode is sort of like Jake, them going through the water, trying to find themselves. That's what
That's
quite
very
literally.
beautiful. But Jake did push Adam down the chasm of abyss.
Yeah, Jake did
He
push
did do that.
Adam into a smelly, like, crack in the earth.
And
he's also talking to, like, this mer-monkey, like very, like, lovey-dovey, like, oh, you are my light, you're so beautiful.
But Adam finds a nice little hole, a little hole for the crab. He shoves him in, and the crab is like, "No, the play nice. Get me out of here." I love him. I love Herman.
Yeah, I'm weirdly endeared to this little character that they just introduced. Like, it's kind of cute.
Like, he's kind of ugly looking, like his design, but he's, like, cute also.
It really works with this show, because this show has, like, a lot of, like, cute, weird, ugly, like designs, like, and some of those overlap, and I think this, like, crab is a perfect amalgamation of that. He looks like a little chunky meatball.
Yeah.
Pincha.
Pincha. So Jake, we're back out of the water. Jake is singing. He's holding a flower, and he like it's like and he goes.
It's just a very long, drawn out sigh because he's in love.
And then Adam pops out. He's mad about being pushed, and he's like, "What were you up to?" And Jake's like, "Today I became a man." And then Adam's like, "Okay, sounds about right."
Yeah, I love the way that he phrased it was pretty funny because it's like, so you're telling me I fell in a chasm and you fell in love? Yeah, that sounds about right, just like you said, Lucy.
And,
He knows his place.
they look up, and the crab's still there. Of course, the crab's there
Hello.
still.
Hello, I'm still here.
I like Adam's relationship to this crab, where it's like a Looney Tunes type of thing, where it's like, out, 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 out.
Yeah. Out, 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 out.
So they decide to go. I guess again. I forget. I think does Jake grab her this time?
Well, the thing is that Adam is like trying to get him out, but like then like they somehow bond over like Adam like saying like I would rather see my grandmother take a bath than see you. It's like I don't know what the connective tissue is there.
It kind of like glazed over me what made them like become friends from that. Like,
Well, like I think it's supposed to be kind of sudden because like even then, like, Adam is just kind of like. Like Herman is like, oh, I like this guy. He has his jokes, but Adam is still a little like, I don't like this guy. But Jake goes back in the water, and he's calling out like, "Where is she? Oh, lover! Oh, lover!" And then this little part is so funny to me, so funny, where Miss Warthog and Principal Pixie Frog are fishing in the student river, and like they're just like hanging out, and like they pull out Jake from like the fish thing, and it I think it's Miss Warthog who says like,
Yeah.
it's like because Miss Pixie Frog's like, this is like a lot of work, and then Miss Warthog says it's hardly work because I love fishing.
my favorite thing about this interaction is Principal Pixie Frog going, "I know, Miss Warthog."
We caught another student.
Like
that as well.
They seem like they're like, I feel like Principal Pixie Frog and Miss Warthog are like friends, like good friends.
I think
almost.
so too. Like they're hanging out. Like it feels very genuine what they have, and I'm glad that they have it.
It's something beautiful, and remind me later to Photoshop onto Miss Warthog a hat that says "Women want me, fish fear me."
Oh my god!
Jesus
we
Christ!
gotta put that on the Twitter.
That would be a very good one for viral media.
So they get mad at him for being in the aquatic hallways
Without good reason.
Yeah, without a good reason. But he has a good reason. He has Herman. He grabs him, jumps
I'm
back
taking
in the
this
water.
aqua squatter back to his little hidey hole.
We gotta throw him
okay.
back down there. Yeah, I mean, that seems... Alright, bye!
He jumps back down, and then Herman tries to kill Jake Spider Monkey.
How dare you take me away from my friend? I might pinch you. And then he like cuts off the oxygen tube, and Jake is like slowly suffocating in his own helmet. It's like growing dark. My mer-monkey.
There's something about like the way that they showed him within his suit. Like, his hands also in the suit. Like, he's very tiny in the helmet, pressed against the glass, like it's a fucking submarine, and it's like sinking.
It's very dramatic.
Yeah.
Like,
It's kind of like Soma in a way.
Yeah, like, it is a little bit like Soma. Like...
You know, like, issues with identity, being under the sea, being, like, harangued by, like, eldritch horrors, like, posing as sea life. It tracks.
Yeah. Basically Soma.
Jake passes out. He wakes up and he's on dry land, and he's like, in that state where you are just coming up from being unconscious, and he's mumbling to himself like, "Oh, my mer-monkey," or like kisses taste like garlic, and then he opens his eyes and it's Herman. He's like, "Ha! You a kissing me?
You a kiss a crab." You wake up and Mario, he's kissing you. What do you do?
I say, "Mario, please, I don't like you like that."
And he goes,
I'm not
"It's
prepared to
okay.
answer
I was trying to bring you back to life." Woohoo!
Okay, then thank you, Mario. That's very nice of you.
I don't kiss you without a consent.
Thank you, Mari. Thank you.
What a woke feminist.
Look, we gotta talk about something important here, and it's like Adam and Herman's budding relationship.
Oh yeah.
Where Adam's like, "Look, Jake, you can't hurt him because I kind of grown fond of the little guy," and then like the little Herman's like, "Yeah, I'm a pinch of his cheeks," and
a pinch.
and Adam's like blushing, like, "Whoa."
There's something tender about this. Something that I never thought I needed from this show was like Adam becoming really good pals with just a C-list character.
I would like to point out that this just adds to my growing folder of evidence that Adam finds people who are like Jake or Herman a little annoying, a little clingy, are somehow magnetically attracted to Adam as a person. He attracts these kind of people who just won't leave him alone, who annoy him a little bit, but he can't help but like them.
God, it reminds me of high school.
But Jake is desperate to get back in the water, but he needs a good reason. So he starts chasing around other animals, and it's a montage of Adam getting pinched, and then Jake running after octopus students. He David Coppertrout's there for a second. That's funny. Guess he's still around. Can't forget about him.
He came out of a
classic
toilet.
Character.
He was.
But at the end of it, we get a little gag where Jake's like, "Well, sorry, I thought you were aquatic," and it was a horse that's drenched in water. I guess you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him sink.
Gosh.
And then we see Adam with horrifying puckered face of welts. Just all the circulation in his face has been broken.
It's very bad.
It's very dense, densely packed pustules on Adam's cheeks. It's red and swollen. He's like, "Well, I gotta be honest, I'm not really liking Herman that much right now."
Yeah.
It's a quick turnaround, and he quickly apologizes, and you would think this is where Jake can use Herman, but he's like, "Oh, I forgive you, buddy," and then he gives him a rock, and then pushes him off.
Sorry, go on. I was gonna say that scene in Bug's Life. Y'all know that scene in Bug's Life?
I think I do.
Remember when Flick goes up to little princess daughter and he's like, "Look at this rock, pretend it's a seed," and then she's like, "But it's a rock."
Well, it's not that's not the point.
and then he sinks Adam.
Yeah. So he pushes Adam in while he's holding a very heavy rock.
For some reason, Adam stays holding on to it till he reaches the bottom. He's like, "Jake, come back!"
Then Herman, I guess Herman didn't get the memo. He's still like, "Oh, he a messing with my friend Adam? Oh, he's gonna get the pinching of his lifetime." And I love Adam here. He just, it's like, oh God, they're really gonna fight. Should I help them? No, screw it. I got homework to do.
That's I'm so glad that he just decided I'm not going to be involved with this one. Not this time.
He's like, you can't get me in that water. So Termin is chasing after Jake, and Jake sees his mer-monkey. Oh, he has to go after her. He grabs her, like both arms wrapped around, and then we see Warthog fishing Jake up. After I think Adam like walks into them fishing and is like, I think there's a fight going on down there, Principal. Like,
Like,
Nice
maybe
of
you
him
should do
to
something.
actually like talk about it instead of like just like falling back on his homework excuse though at least.
yeah, at least he told authority, even if it was Principal Pixie Frog. And it turns out the mer-monkey was just a fishing lure.
Yeah, just a funny little, like, strange object that Jake was seeing something in.
Um, did we ever get to see what happened to Herman? What happens to him? I forgot.
No, we don't, because it ends with like Jake realizing that and he's like, I was in love with a fishing lure?
Oh,
Oh well, nobody's perfect.
Boom,
And-
bum, bum,
That-
bum, bum, bum,
Friday
bum,
nights is coming on
bum,
tonight.
bum, bum,
This
bum,
is
bum.
Jack Sparrow's son. Here we go. That was the end bit.
But it feels so like lampshaded, that ending. Just like, I guess this is how it's gonna end. Might as well. Yeah, that's just how they end it. It's just like you're a kid on Friday nights. Like that's all you need. What are you looking at the screen for? Go home. We're home.
We're done.
Go,
We're done here.
Turn off the TV. You watched my gym partner's a monkey today.
So, yeah, those are those episodes. They're kind of funny. They're pretty funny.
They're pretty funny. Like I noticed that they didn't belabor on a lot of jokes. Just like the one where Jake sighs, but like they were really snappy with like a lot of jokes, just back to back to back to back.
Yeah.
Like the one that like epitomized that was like the one where like Windsor and the Slips were talking with each other. Windsor just like one was like you didn't use air quotes, and then Adam didn't use air quotes. Windsor was like, wow, I can't believe he didn't use air quotes. Then it goes to Slips, and he's like, yeah, what a nork. And then they're talking about that, and then they go off like, and that's like just lampshaded. They just like walk off and like ignore Adam. And it's like, wow, a whirlwind there. You didn't repeat the same joke 3 times. We're in a new world.
We get the joke out of the way, and we move on to the next. That's our way. That's the gym partner way.
I did like a lot seeing like the new backgrounds and like stuff of the Mer-Monkey episode. Like that was really refreshing. Seeing like the underwater classroom and stuff.
Oh,
I'm really
yeah.
glad we got to see all that stuff. It was fun.
I am-
but
Yeah, that, and it was just a lot more dynamic too. A lot of interesting like shots, like interesting little like drawings, everything. It felt like really big budgeted. Well, not big budgeted, but budgeted. You
yeah,
know?
budgeted.
It felt like there was a little bit more put into it than average, and I like it.
So, should we get to the art?
Yeah, we have quite a bit today. I
Quite
guess
a lot.
I'll start. No, actually, Gert, you can start because this is
Oh,
for you.
jeez.
All right, let's see here. It was in the. All right, here we go. All right, so this first piece of art, wonderful piece of art, is from Jet Jaguar Gay at Chairman Nam. And
a regular in the art department.
they added us and said, "Ask and you shall receive." And, well, I suppose we did.
Well, I didn't. I can
what's
tell
this-
you for certain I didn't.
What's this weave? Is this? It is.
Look,
what is it, Gert?
do
You have to describe it.
Well,
Yeah, tell us what it is.
well, what we're seeing here, I'll gladly tell you what it is. Like, I love this. You see, it's Principal Pixie Frog, and he's sitting on the ground, and he's got a very euphoric look on his face. He looks satisfied, I'd say, and he's just chomping down on some Wonder Bread.
Anyway, our next art is by at Sleepy
Thank
Nub.
you.
I'm sorry. Thank you, Chairman Nom, but also,
No more. Please, no more Wonder Bread from me, Lucy. No more Wonder Bread. At Sleepy Nook has sent us a lovely picture here. At my gym partner's a monkey to draw me and my girlfriend our own my gym partner's a monkey sonas. We got Rosie and her girlfriend Ryan. They're gay and ready to torment Seep as usual for stealing space chimps.
Oh my god.
So we
that's
have...
right. In the comments of our season 2 finale, there was a thing going on about apparently they all watched Space Chimps and Seep stole the big talk about Space Chimps from them. But here we have Rosie and Ryan here, wonderful personas.
Yeah.
I love, a tanuki and a frog together. It's a beautiful thing. I'm glad you could just show this bit of art for us here.
I really love the style too. Like the colors are super nice, and it's so pleasant. It's a pleasant little
very
image. Great.
Thank you so much.
Wish you the best.
Thank you. Renee, why don't you talk about this one?
This one. Yeah. At Lil Apollyon. At my gym partner's a podcast. Angry Teacher Renee. That's all you need, because that's me. It's me there being angry Teacher Renee saying, "Shut up! We're learning about animal facts."
I love this.
facts with
And then the kids start
It
crying.
is something I would say and did say earlier in this podcast even, and I love it. I love the face I'm making here, and I love art with me in it. So thank you, Little Polygon.
I like
Thinking of
me.
I love this. My person.
But it's really funny. Thank you, for real.
Thank you. So this
Thank
next
you.
one is from a very special listener. This is from at cupcake_Ruth. And she says, sigh. So because my sister is my gym partner's a monkey Sona is a human, that means that I too have to be human. Thanks, my gym partner's a podcast. And this is from my little sister. And she has drawn herself as a human in the My Gym Partner's a Monkey style, and it's true, we would both have to be humans unless there's some weird crossbreeding going on in the My Gym Partner's a Monkey universe.
One of you could be adopted.
That's true. One of us could, but we're not. So
Yeah, it's true, you're not, so...
So you have to be a human family. Well,
Yeah.
Me and Gert are interesting animals here.
yeah, I wanted
Fun
to
and quirky.
talk about this because I really bit the bullet. That's not a saying. Is it?
Yeah.
It's a saying, but it doesn't track here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bite the bullet, that's the...
Yeah, I really took a bite out of a bullet because I could have had a cool one. I could have been a big bear. I could have been I don't know. Fuck.
astronaut.
I could have been an astronaut. I could have been a football player. But instead I'm just like Adam. I'm Adam. Do you know what that's like? I'm Adam. I'm the boring one of the podcast.
Well, you know what? There's always a chance that some freak accident turns you into some kind of animal, and I'm saying, I'm not going to discuss retconning your human Sona right now, but hey, wink. It
Could happen. Or maybe, you just need to be drawn in a more positive light that shows just your interesting personality and how fun you are. Segue into our next doodles here by at Numi Julie, who has assembled quite an assortment of doodles here.
Yeah.
A lot of fun drawings.
These drawings are labyrinthian. There are quite a...
It's quite a lot of them, so I highly recommend y'all check out. We retweeted them on our podcast Twitter. Numi has just done a wonderful job here of capturing all of our moods and feelings.
Our essences. I love that you look at these and you can sort of get a sense of what little segment, what episode each are from, because they're based on little things we've said, our little intonations or expressions. I love my favorite one. Besides me being like subdued, is a little me saying I do mine.
My favorite one. I want you to put these up there too, Renee, on the video. Mine is when I was asking Seep if the antagonist from Space Gyms was hot.
Was he hot?
Was he hot?
My favorite one is me doing a Hulk face at Lucy in real life while Renee is talking.
So these are very good. Thank you, Numi, so much.
All right, and with that, I think we should just do one comment here, since we're running a little bit. But from Plushy Beaks, they write, "Imagine how great it would be if my life partner's a monkey was real, like a Samurai Jack or Invader Zim situation where they make a sequel years later because the fans of the original show made petitions asking for it. I wonder if that would be best suited for Cartoon Network or Adult Swim."
I want it to be a Cartoon Network show, and here's why. I feel like if given the limitations of like what a Cartoon Network show could be, like making it age appropriate and things like that, could make for a funnier, more like possibly wholesome show. But when you give it to like, when you're like no holds bar, you can just do whatever crazy shit you want in like an Adult Swim situation, then it's just gonna be a bunch of doo-doo humor. I don't like that.
Adults?
Yeah, fuck. Let's do it on Adult Swim. I wanna see Jake kill people with a sword and there be blood,
Morty,
and then there could be a
I'm on my
crazy
gym partner's
Jake.
a monkey, Morty.
And then we can have like horny like drawings of like characters and sex and explosions, and then there could be like a crazy Jake like that's in his head and it's like drawn all wackily and then drawn like.
This is the pitch to Adult Swim.
And like
you're like in the conference room of the Adult Swim executives, and you're like, check this shit out, and they're like, yo.
Fuck, I want to bring this back.
Okay, nobody steal this.
Yeah, nobody
anybody
steal it.
listening to this, nobody steal it.
Whoever many people watch episode, listen here, don't take that.
Anyway, I think I've about had my fill. I'm woof stuffed.
Oh, that was a good pasta fajoule there.
We really woofed those down, didn't we? Like we woofed those guys.
Yep.
Next, we're gonna have a big thing on our plate.
Yes.
Big field trip.
Whoa!
What?
That's right.
Yep, that's right. We're doing the movie episode, and it's gonna be long. It's gonna be a real field trip, all right. So expect that soon on the next episode of My Gym Partners, a podcast.
I'm Lucy.
I am Renee.
Wait.
Hey, I'm Renee. That's Gert. This has been My Gym Partners, a podcast. Fuck!
We gotta bring it back.